Hello, Killy P here, welcome back to another video. Today I'll be doing a part 3 to what if Deku had the Joker's personality. So let's get right into it. Okay, so now all the police officers are patrolling the slums a lot more. Well, not just police officers, heroes as well. Some, like, more of the smaller heroes, the big heroes more care about the very obvious villains. And so, like, some of the smaller heroes are starting to patrol in their slums, and it just becomes a lot more targeted. I'm gonna say 13 is also gonna be there, just because I want it to be there. Want it to be there? Yeah, it'll work out. So now Izuku's starting to get a little bit annoyed about all these police officers and heroes being in his area, and it's making him harder to do work. So he comes up with a strategy to get them out of it and start being more spread out. What he does, he goes over and he puts on a mask, but this mask is going to be like a clown. Obviously, Toga and Harley Quinn would also have the same type of mask, and they'll all wear a mask, and I'm gonna say they start to go over to the like the more richer, like the rich area, and what they do is they see someone on they start walking around the streets with their mask. Everyone looks at them and they look very weird, and so someone does call it in, but they just go, well, it's just weird people, we'll go check it out later, because they still think they're in the slums and that they're not going to leave it. So what they do, they walk into an alleyway. Obviously, there's like a really good person. Let's say this person has an okay quirk. I'm going to say he has the power to shoot blades from his palm of his hands. Let's say that. He has the power to shoot blades from the palm of his hands, like, and he's a very good doer. He has a very strong sense of justice, so he keeps... Yes, all of them are introducing a strong sense of justice. I probably need to change that soon. So, now he follows them into the alleyway, and obviously all of them realize that he's following them, and pretty much Izuku pretty much disappears and knocks him out. And now he's pretty much, because they're pretty bloody strong for... I'm going to say Izuku's still 10 years old, and this is only like, I'm going to say about 1 to 2 years? No. I'm going to say this is 3 weeks from when he sent the package over to the police station. I'm going to say this is about 3 weeks from then. So now that they have this person, they're like going, okay, now what do we do? And Izuku starts to smile and laugh very maniacally. This isn't going to be a quirk. I'm going to add another characteristic to him. Because he has Joker's personality, he will laugh maniacally whenever he's thinking of something evil, or whenever he's pretty much thinking of something, because he always thinks of something evil. So pretty much whenever he thinks, he'll be laughing maniacally, and everyone else just think he's laughing randomly. Thank you, comment. So now, pretty much what he does, he takes everything off the man, including underwear, and what he does, he takes out this is gonna be, probably, you want to be above 10, or above that to listen to this part. So he's going to hammer his hands into the side of the wall that the alleyway is on. He's going to take off all of his clothes, and what he does, he takes out the eyes, sews the eyelids shut, sews the mouth shut, but with a permanent marker, draws a smile on his face, where his mouth is. And pretty much, he leaves, and pretty much starts doing that, like, slowly, very minor, and, like, does that. So I'm gonna say it's gonna take a week for them to find this one, and the police officers are just freaked out by this, and saying, okay, this is a complete psychopathic murderer, we need to bump up his warrants, and we just need to put more protection in for our common society. And pretty much, he keeps doing this for like about, I'm gonna say, 2 weeks. He does this, and obviously the search in the slums are gonna be less because the police officers now have to worry about the rich areas, and because it's the rich areas, they're gonna obviously prioritize the rich people, obviously. So now there's like third rate, fourth rate heroes, and maybe like one police officer and one vehicle driving around in that area. But in the very busy, rich area, there's gonna be like uh, the top 10 heroes, there's gonna be like second class heroes, there's gonna be all the agencies are gonna be in high alert, and all that stuff. So now I'm gonna do a 3-year time skip. So now Izuku is gonna be 13 years old, and now he's been doing the same thing for all these 3 years, but a lot less, maybe like once a month he'll be doing it, and everyone's just getting really annoyed, and just all of the heroes are going to be targeting him, and pretty much what he does, he's planning something really, really big. So I'm going to leave it that, but I'll get back to it later in the video. So now I'm going to cut back to the League of Villains. After seeing all these murders, and they know it's not them, because they'll be healed from, All For One will be healing from the fight with All Might, and he'll be healing, and pretty much they'll be seeing this and just going, we must get him. And they're doing more research and trying to find who it is. But I'm going to go back. This is going to be Izuku's plan. I'm going to put into action now. So what he does, he goes over to the second best hero at the time, which is Endeavor. He goes in and he takes Todoroki. He takes him. Izuku's not an idiot. He knows how to get into places very easily and get out even easier. But this time, instead of being completely thorough and making sure no one can see him, what he does, he leaves one camera on. And what he does, he takes Todoroki, knocks him out using, I'm just gonna say a karate chop, knocks him out, and he's carrying him. He looks over at the camera. He still has the mask on. He tilts his head slightly and waves. And just continues walking. I'm going to say he skips a little bit. And skips off the camera, and it just turns off instantly. So it only has that one little bit. And now, everyone's so now Endeavor is royally pissed off that his favorite child just got abducted by this person that no one really knows who it is. People think it's a kid because of his appearance, but obviously adults still have smaller bodies. That's still a thing. So everyone just doesn't know who he is. So what he does, he starts a live stream. I'm gonna say he starts a live stream. Pretty much, he's wearing the same mask, all the uniforms that he was wearing, with Toga and Harley Quinn in the background, looking at him. So pretty much what he says is this: "Hello, Endeavor. It's very nice to see you. Obviously, I can't see you because this is a pre-reset recording. So, but people think it's a pre-reset, but I'm gonna say it's actually live. He's just being annoying, just trick people. So it's going to be hard for them to track. Obviously, he has a VPN on and all that stuff to make sure no one can track what this recording is. And what he says is, hello, Endeavor. I have your favorite little son. Come find me if you can. You'll be having a fun time with me. Good luck. The clock is ticking. Tick, tock, tick, tock." Pretty much. And for the next I'm gonna say for the next 48 hours, it's just gonna be a loop of Izuku doing the TikTok, and sometimes it'll chime in saying, Endeavor, it's been so and so hours. Come on, try harder. You're nowhere close. And he knows exactly where Endeavor is. And he sometimes says, Endeavor, you're getting colder. And starts taunting him even more. And Endeavor obviously knows about it. And this stream is at the top, because technically it's not doing anything bad. But, because it's Izuku, he pretty much obviously knows it's going to go really bad really fast. What he does, he says, looks like you missed the time. Time to start the fun. And pretty much what he does is drag in Todoroki, and he's muffled and tied up fully. And pretty much what he does, he starts, I'm gonna say he starts with simple pressure points, just to make him feel more pain, and obviously be very painful, because he's not doing it painless. He's making sure every single thing is the most painful thing this kid has ever felt. And pretty much what he does is start poking around, making his quirk go insane inside of his body. And what he does is he starts making his quirk just start activate randomly, and starting to, even though the ropes that he has around him is actually gonna be infused with quirk cancelling, the quirks inside of his body is going to just be ramping, and just you'll see him start vomiting fire and ice, and just start vomiting and what he does, Izuku just says, Endeavor, did you know? And he cuts a little bit of Todoroki's skin on each side and sees the blood is starting to run out, but it's like fire and ice on the other side. So, and just saying, this is 10 times worse than actually hurting, than naturally cutting someone, especially with this kid's quirk. You better try harder, or else it'll keep coming and keep coming. And just to make sure that he feels it again, and I'm gonna give him another quirk. I'm gonna say he has a slight but very, very weak regeneration. Like, he can help other people's cuts, but it takes away of his stamina the bigger the injury. So he can heal himself from, it just takes away of his stamina. He can heal other people from touch. It's sort of like from my other What If, but a lot more nerfed. And pretty much he just starts torturing him for hours upon hours online, and everyone's seeing this. And at this point, Endeavor's fully just gung-ho, just saying, I'm gonna kill him as soon as I see him. And pretty much everyone with a kind heart is just turning off the stream and just can't watch it. And pretty much what he does at this point, he says, okay, looks like you're not coming. I'm gonna stop this now. But this is the one thing you'll hear, Endeavor. This is the last time you'll ever hear of Todoroki. Goodbye. And it just shuts off. And the League of Villains is speechless. Darby is really bloody pissed off, because Todoroki was his big way to hurt his father, and now that this other guy has him, it won't work, and looks like he's already going through pain because of this other guy. And Darby's just going that's annoying, that just threw a wrench in my whole plan. Because Darby, if you didn't know, that's just a spoiler of the manga. I'm not gonna say that one. So now that that's happened, and Todoroki's just he's gonna be unmuffled for this part, and he's gonna say, what are you gonna do to me? And Izuku takes off his mask and says, hello, and obviously they look the exact same. Todoroki's just completely thrown off by this. So now, guess who's a part of the team? Yeah. So pretty much he's gonna do the same treatment that he did to Toga and Harley Quinn, and he ended up pretty much the same. Yeah, and his quirk actually strengthened. And pretty much Now, Todoroki sort of became a sleeper agent, but whenever he sees Izuku, it activates it sort of activates. It's like a dormant. So pretty much what he did the same treatment, but dormanted the psychosis that allows him to control him. So he made it dormant, and whenever he sees him, it becomes active. So pretty much, if Todoroki sees Izuku at any point of time, Todoroki will become completely and utterly Izuku's pretty much pawn, and but he won't act differently. He'll see him, but as soon as Izuku says Todoroki do this, Todoroki will do it instantly, because the last command Deku gave Todoroki before letting him go was, you have to listen to every single command I give you, but make sure before I give you a command, do the exact same that you were doing before. And then, with that last command, became pretty much a sleeper agent. And pretty much he got let out. I'm gonna say he let him out in the slum area, like with shirts, like with a raggy shirt, pants, obviously a little bit beaten to death, like half beaten to death, and like looks like he's been starved because Izuku didn't really feed him. So I'm gonna say this took about a week. So he's not dead because he didn't eat. Because I'm gonna say he gave him water, because Izuku's such a nice person. When he's torturing, he'll give them water. So pretty much he gave him water and sent him away. And then Todoroki kicks back in, or the old Todoroki kicks back in, like pretty much all the pain, kicks him at once, well, hits him at once, and just falls dead. No, not falls dead, falls unconscious falls unconscious. And then Izuku pretty much drops him off right in front of the slums. And then people go, wait, is that kid? Oh, I can get a reward, because Endeavor put in a very hefty reward for Todoroki, obviously, because it's his favorite child. So he put in a massive reward. Well, not massive. I'm going to say, well, quite large. I'm not sure how much I should do it, but I'm going to say it's big. So now someone from the slums says, oh, officer. And pretty much the officer comes over and says, I found this kid on the street. Do you know who he is? And pretty much the officer comes over, looks at the face, and pretty much goes, holy shite, that's Todoroki. And pretty much what he does is the man in the slum says, hey, don't I get a reward for handing him in? And pretty much the police officer grins with a massive smile and says, yes, here's your reward, and shoots him right through the head. I'm going to say he shoots him right through the head because this is a greedy, obviously asshole police officer, and that wants the reward all for himself. Yes, there are those types of people in this world. So anyway, so now the police officer hands in Todoroki saying, I found this kid on the road, looks like I got the reward. And pretty much the captain says, yep, and before he hands over the money, he calls Endeavor to come pick up his son because he's been found. And Endeavor pretty much comes over straight away without any questions asked and says, where is my son? And pretty much he comes over, sees Todoroki like with raggy clothes, like no food, and just like looks half beaten to death, and he just starts gritting his teeth as strongly as he possibly can. Without any hesitation, he pretty much says, thank you, officer, with a very like menacing smile, and just like looks like he's completely pissed off, and saying, I'll be taking my son now. Thank you for your work. And both these officers get a chill down their spine and start shivering and just go like, thanks, you're welcome, sir. And pretty much he says, here's your reward, good police officer. And he just storms out of the building. I'm going to say he's a little bit more contained, but everyone knows when he's pissed off, don't mess with him. Obviously, Izuku will be doing a lot of messing with him. I'm gonna say Izuku's main target will be Endeavor, because all for one will be one for all. And I'm gonna say, instead of that, he's gonna be targeting Endeavor, sort of like Derby, because Izuku obviously knows about the League of Villains, because he's been doing a lot of recon lately and understanding all the ins and outs of every villain organization, or every villain for that matter, and all the heroes as well. He's sort of like a nerd, well, that he has like all those books about all the heroes, but I'm gonna say he has 50 books, and half of them are gonna be about heroes, half of them are gonna be about villains. So pretty much he jots down everything and realizes that All Might's weaker than he was before, and pretty much what Izuku does with a massive smile on his face, he follows him. He follows All Might, because I'm gonna say in these 3 years, he has the physical capabilities too, and he's been practicing parkour, I'm gonna say. Yeah, he's been practicing parkour. So he can jump up buildings and all that stuff. So he's been it's been taken him for like 3 weeks for him to fully be able to tail him properly. And then he sees him just untransform like that, and just go like, he looks at a very confused face and just goes like, starts smiling, giggling a little bit, and going back his day, and he pretty much says, now that my curiosity's piqued, I'm gonna see who he fought against, because I'm gonna say he's gonna be 15 now, and he's sort of forgotten about his family, but that will change soon. So now that happened, yeah, he's done lots of information about the League of Villains, and pretty much what he does, he sort of torments them, because he pretty much makes them think that they're tailing him, but then they lose him, and then they'll lose one member that was tailing him. Every time they tried, they'd come with 3 small villains, and one would always get lost, and pretty much no one knows where he goes. And at this point, he starts talking to people, and they sort of listen and follow him, because, yeah, they sort of have to, because it's quirk. It's pretty much mind control, but with just very charismatic person. It's practically mind control at this point. I'm gonna say, because now he realized now that he's pretty strong, and when he talks to people, and they understand, and he's very confused about this, but then he starts playing around with it, and he starts asking people to follow him out of the blue, and they'll just go, okay, sure, why not, you seem trustworthy. And they start following him, and this has piqued his interest, and he keeps trying this. But now that he keeps trying this, I'm gonna say, because also when now he's 15, he's been training that ability. He just thinks it's a weird ability. Might think it's his quirk, but at this point he still doesn't know, because he doesn't have too much money. Actually, no, scrap that. He has a lot of money. I forgot he sold organs as well from all those bodies that he killed. Yeah, how am I that idiotic? How did I forget that? So, yeah, he has a lot of money, so pretty much, I'm gonna say he buys a restaurant that the main ingredient's gonna be beef, in inverted commas, which is actually gonna be human meat. Yeah, it's gonna be quite gross. But, obviously, he's cooking it, and I'm gonna say he's a fantastic chef as well. And Toga and Harley Quinn's gonna be manning the cash register, and all that stuff. So yeah, he sort of has that business running for him as well, just because he can. No one really sees the chef's face, so they don't really know that it's Izuku that runs it. I'm gonna say now that he's 15, he's very buff, he knows all this information, and pretty much he's gonna say, it's time for my showing, and pretty much he's gonna show his face. Well, not his real face. I'm gonna say he shows a face that people might recognize, but no one would really know. So he shows his face, but he obviously does a bunch of makeup. He sort of looks like the Joker, sort of, but a lot more tamed and a lot better looking. So pretty much he's gonna have the red around his lips, and he's gonna be slightly, I'm gonna say he's gonna be slightly darker, and his eyes are gonna be full on green. I'm gonna say he dyes his hair. No, he still has his hair green. The joke has his hair green. Yeah, that works out perfectly. So obviously he's gonna look like that. I'm gonna say he puts in a certain eye lens that allows his eyes to go red. I'm gonna say he does that. So now his eyes look red, and his hair green, and all that stuff, and pretty much says, "Hello, world! It's my debut! You guys finally get to see my face!" And pretty much he does all his conversation, and pretty much does that. I'm gonna say he does this at a big event. I'm gonna say he does this at the UA entrance exam, and pretty much says all this stuff from the loudspeakers and allowing everyone to do it, and pretty much goes on to all the, well, when he's in the big auditorium, he hacks into the big screen that's behind him when he's explaining all the rules. Yeah, Izuku hacks into that screen and pretty much says all of his stuff. Yeah, so he says all of his creepy ass stuff about his debut, and all the heroes try to find him, but he just pretty much shows up and runs. He's wearing what the photo looks like. He's wearing a suit with a hoodie on it. I still like the hoodie. I like the hoodie. I'm gonna say he has that hoodie on. I'm gonna say it's a green hoodie, and he has a very vibrant suit. Very obvious, but he doesn't obviously wear it outside. He has a completely different personality when actually talking to people. Well, because he's so charismatic, no one really cares. No one really understands him. So, at this point now, Izuku's just running amok with all this world, with the whole world. And obviously everyone's trying to find him, and try to either recruit him or throw him in jail, and some people want to kill him. Endeavor. If you wanted to know the answer to that. Endeavor. And Todoroki, Izuku's met him a couple times and made Todoroki do some killing to get used to it, so Todoroki wouldn't be one not to kill, and pretty much what he's gonna do, he's gonna start, this is gonna be very, actually, I'm gonna leave this to next part. I have two ways to going with this. I have an interesting way, or I have continuing the way it is. I'm gonna leave it down to the comments. You guys are not gonna get to know what it is. It's gonna be a surprise. You can either get to know an interesting way to to continue it, or you can go back and we can continue him pretty much ruining everyone's lives and all that stuff. The interesting way is gonna be more fun, in my opinion. It's gonna be a lot more, obviously, interesting for this narrative. I want to leave it up to you guys. Whoever gets the most comments down below, if you want it interesting or the same, just let me know in the comments. I hope you like and subscribe and enjoy, and tell me if you want to know anything more. Thank you very much. Goodbye.